everyone, welcome back. We're now going to make our garlic bread to go with the tuna pasta bake. I've baked this, you can tell, don't do what I'm doing, it's not hot because I've just left it for a little while to cool while I've been getting everything ready for this video. So there it is. What we'll do is I'll show you how to make the garlic bread and then we'll serve some up on a plate with the vegetables as well. So for this recipe, the utensils you'll need a baking sheet, something like this. You will need a chopping board, a little bowl, and this is for mixing the butter and the garlic in. Oh, I've got a knife. I think that's about it. We don't need a lot for this recipe. I do know we need a spoon for mixing, so I'll get a spoon for mixing the butter. If you want, also if you've got any parsley, any fresh parsley, you could add that to it. So I have brought some bake at home baguettes. You're going to need one of these. Now I think this one came with two in. I baked the other one to show you, so I'll get rid of that. If you haven't got one of these bake yourself baguettes, what you can use is, these are bake yourself ones as well, or if you've just got some French stick that's already cooked, you know, that you just bought from the shop, that's fine. You can do it on top of some slices of bread even, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to show you how to make this garlic bread. So what I'll do first is, I've got my ingredients ready. Got my butter there. I'm going to just cut the bread. Now I don't want to cut all the way through because I want it to stay together while I cook it in the oven. So you'll need either a serrated edge, a small knife like this, or if you've got one, if you've got a bread knife, you can use one of these. And start fairly near the end, but don't cut all the way through. So you're cutting through about 2/3 of it. If you do cut through, it doesn't matter, because if you've got some foil, you can fasten. Oh, you see, I've cut too far there. So we're talking. If you've got some foil, you can wrap it in foil either. Cut all the way across the bread. I'm just going to move it up a little bit. Look, you see mine's come away there. But it won't matter because when I get the butter, the garlic butter, it'll stick together. Got my tray. So I'm going to lift it onto the tray. And I'm just going to put that to one side until I've done the butter. Now you need 50 grams of butter for this. Butter or margarine. Now there's 500 grams in here, so that's 1/10 of this. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon in my bowl. Put the lid back on. You'd put that back in the fridge. Move it out of the way. And you'll need some garlic. Now it says 3 cloves of garlic. It does depend on the size of the cloves. That's a really big clove of garlic, so I think I'm just going to use 2. What I will do is chop the ends off. And peel the skin off the garlic. Like we did when we were making the sauce for the pasta. Just be careful, you chop the ends off. All the little bits you don't need. And then we're going to chop it really finely. So this might take you a little bit of time. There's no rush to do this. Again, you might need an adult to just help you when you get towards the end of it. Trying to get my fingers out of the way. I'm going to slice both of them up first and then chop them finely. So we've got little pieces of garlic in. So you could use a garlic press if you've got one. And I know some of the chefs, what they do is they put a little bit of salt on it and they press it down. This is the easiest way for us to do. We don't want to chop our fingers. So you can spend a little bit more time doing it than I've done to get it nice and fine. We're going to add that to the butter. Out of the way. Then you need to mix it in really well. Because what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of this butter in between each of the pieces. And then when we put it in the oven, it'll all melt. It'll taste amazing. It's back. And I'm going to, see, I've forgotten my knife. I'll use one of these knives. I'm going to use a table knife for this. It doesn't need to be pointed. Start at one end. Just a little bit of the garlic butter in. See if you can get it all inside. You could add some parsley or some other herbs to this butter. Particularly as well if you're growing your own, it'd be lovely to have some herbs in. But I'm just going to leave mine plain for now. I have made one earlier, which I'm going to show you in a moment. And I've made that using some dried parsley in it. So pop all that in. Too much there. If it does come apart, it doesn't matter because you can stick it all back together. And we're going to, when you're doing this at home, you can cook this in the oven at the same time as you're cooking the pasta bake. And you don't have to put the oven on specially for it. If you don't want to make it like this, what you can do is you can just lay all the pieces on the tray and just butter them. You've just got enough butter. Make sure you get all the garlic out. Now you bake that in the oven for the same length of time, so about 15 minutes. You can, if you want, pop some foil around it, but I found that with it being one of these ones that are ready to bake, it really needs to be open. So that's going to go in the oven for 15 minutes. So that's how you make the garlic bread. Now what we'll do is, I'm going to pop that over there because that's my washing up. That's the other thing about when you're doing cooking, you have to do your washing up as well. Again, you might have somebody that can help you do it. But you can't just do your cooking and then go. Just wash my hands. So, let's have a look. Now I've lost my other piece of garlic bread. Oh, it's here. So I cooked this earlier on when I was cooking the pasta, so I'm going to show you now. I've wrapped it in foil just to keep it fresh. So this is the garlic bread. So when you're serving it, you can serve a couple of pieces of, maybe 3 pieces of garlic bread. You'll have to share it out. And we're going to serve it with some of the pasta bake. Now, what you could do is, my pasta bake's gone quite crunchy on top. So what you might want to do is cover it in a little bit of foil as you start cooking it. Let's see if we can get this out. It has gone cool as this. You see all the vegetables in there. If you wanted more tomato sauce in it, what you can do is you could add 2 tins of sauce. Look, I'm getting everything everywhere. That, and I'm going to serve it with, pop this under here out of the way, some peas. Now you would heat these up, but I'm just going to show you what it looks like because it looks delish. It looks amazing. Everybody is going to be really impressed and you feed them give them their dinner tonight. So what you could do with the peas and the sweet corn is mix them together and put them in a pan with some water and just cook them for about 5 minutes till they heat it through. Or you could do the same but put them in a bowl and put them in the microwave. So there we have our rather scrummy tuna pasta bake, garlic bread and some vegetables. So I hope you're going to enjoy that. And the other thing we're just going to make quite quickly is a milkshake. Now what we need for the milkshake is 2 bananas. Now I've got 2 bananas that are not quite as ripe, and I've got 2 really ripe bananas, so I'm going to see which I can use. I need a tin of peach slices and I need some milk. Now my milk's under here. Now you can either use some UHT milk, this one's semi-skim milk, or I've got some other milk as well. I've got some fresh milk, so I can use either of these. What we're going to do is open up take one of those. Need a mixing bowl for measuring the milk. And you see, look, you need to be organised, don't you? I'm not doing very well with this, am I? So I'm going to use a stick blender to mix mine. Now, if you haven't got a stick blender like that, you could use an ordinary blender, like a smoothie maker. Or sometimes, if I don't want to get that out, I just use a whisk. So you could use a whisk. Or you could use, if you've got an electric mixer, that's quite good as well. You could use a masher to mash the peaches, because what we need to do is mash the peaches and the bananas and add the milk, and that's all we need to do to make our milkshake today, because milk's really good for us, and we haven't got, in milk there isn't a lot of sugar, so it's a lot better for us than having lots of sweet sugary drinks. So I'm going to open the peaches. Now I'm only going to make half the quantity today, just to show you how to do it. I have got a colander and I'm going to drain it. See, I've thought about this. I'm going to drain it into here. We can't use the juice because the juice in this is a sugary syrupy juice, so we're not going to use that. Get rid of the tin. Give that a shake. And I'm going to pop it in here. So I'm going to use half the peaches. That'll be enough for a couple of drinks. And I'm going to take these bananas. Now I'm going to see how ripe these are. I think they'll be all right. Oh, these are fine. So it's a good way to use up some bananas that need eating up. So that's one. I use one of these as well then. I can already smell the bananas. Now if you don't like bananas, you could put some other fruit in instead. So if you've got some other fruit. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mash it a little bit. So if you were using a masher, you just have to press it all down to make sure it's all mashed up. So do all that, don't want to waste any. So you mash that until it was it's all nice and smooth. I'm going to do it with the blender. I'm going to show you with the blender. So if you're going to use the blender, you need to plug that in. This is a stick blender. So you can use this either. Move my milk. I'm getting in each other's way, getting things in the way today. Right, so pop that in. So that's, let me see if we can get that other bit in as well. So if you're mashing it, you just manage to get it as nice and smooth as you can. It's just very similar to this. And I'm going to add 250 mils of milk. I'm going to use the I'll use this one because this one's nice and cold, and it's a lot better if you use cold milk for it. So have a look on your measuring jug. 250 mils, which is 1/4 of a litre, is just there. But if you're making it, you could actually use a couple of glasses either to measure it. If you put 2 glasses of milk in this, it makes 3 glasses of smoothie milkshake. So I've just measured that and poured that in. I'm going to add it to the mixture of banana and peaches. So you could use a whisk either, so it depends what you've got at home, whichever one's easier for you. When I use a potato masher to mash some of the fruit down, you could just use a fork, it would work as well. So that's it. That is our milkshake. So let's see how many glasses we've got here. I've actually missed a little bit of the peach on the side. Now, because it's got banana in, you do need to drink it. There's a few lumpy bits, never mind. So I've got a little bit there. I've not mixed it up really well, so you need to mix it really well. Spend a little bit of time doing it. There we have our amazing milkshakes. So if you think of any other fruit that you could use, so you could use some strawberries, or frozen fruit's nice in it as well. So you could, if you've got some bags of summer fruits, which have got lots of things in it, like cherries and raspberries, that'd be lovely. So I'll have a little taste and let you know what I think. Oh, that's amazing. And this recipe, I only made half of it. So you can see it makes those 3 glasses, so it makes double this. And we've got the other peach there. But what I did do is I added another banana to mine because I like bananas. So it just depends what you've got, and you can make it just how you like it. So give that a go, see what you think. And then next week we are going to be making spicy burger tower. So some burgers and coleslaw. So hopefully you'll have had a go at making some of the things we've made this week, and next week you'll be able to join us again for some more cooking videos. So bye for now.